Welcome to the training of trainers. My name is Bridget. I'm going to be the trainer together with Eunice, who will be co-training with myself. I'm just going to take you through the objectives of this workshop. One of the things that we are going to be doing is to introduce yourselves to potential triggers of election-related crises. You will be informed of the case studies of the targeted countries that have been studied. There are 6 countries that have been studied, and you are going to share in that experience. We will also be advising you on good practices and how to avoid electoral crisis. We'll also ensure that trainers are familiar with processes of managing electoral crisis as an EMB. We also would like to capacitate you on how you are going to impart the knowledge that you will gain throughout the 2.5 days when you go back to your own EMBs. So those are the few objectives that we have taken out to say these are the areas that we will be dealing with throughout the workshop. And we are going to then introduce you to the electoral cycle and also introduce you to electoral crisis today. Tomorrow, we will be looking at why and when do crises occur and how to avoid them. Day 3, we are looking at electoral crisis management, and we will touch a little bit on facilitation skills.
It is a state of anxiety and confusion during an election.
Election crisis is a situation which effectively frustrates the process of election in such a way that they lose their credibility.
This electoral crisis is a problem that arises in the field of election, which needs to be managed. That arises in the field of election, which needs to be managed.
It's a situation that puts an aspect of the electoral process at the risk of being disrupted or rejected.
Is the problem of the election results, voter registration, or any other aspect of the electoral process?
And we have been able to define electoral crisis in your own ways, and then we went back to come up with that, to unpack that definition that is in the scoping report. You will notice that these words that we were unpacking are now forming the key concepts of what electoral crisis is. If there was a guarantee that an outcome of a particular election is going to be acceptable, there was no need for us to be sitting in this training today. If there was a guarantee that an outcome of a particular election will be acceptable to all, there will be no need for us to be sitting here, because there will be a guarantee that there won't be any occurrence of any nature of an electoral crisis. The reason we are talking about electoral crisis is because we know that there is no guarantee that any outcome will be accepted by all stakeholders, by all players in an election. So, we are not going to move. An election becomes an election because of the different phases that takes place. There is a pre, there is a during, which normally would be that particular day when elections are taking place, and there's post. So we're going to be looking at the 3 phases. We're going to be revisiting the electoral phases. And we have the 3 phases as I have indicated, which is the pre-electoral period, during, and the post. And when you look at the 3, you are going to try to see, this one is going to be looking at the pre-electoral, the electoral, and the post. And as you look at the 3 areas, you will see that there are areas that are set up there to guide you for electoral phases. And if you look at nomination, you'll be able to say within nomination, what are the nomination? In nomination, what are the possible triggers that may cause a crisis? You don't really need to look at how you will mitigate them. You will have to, however, keep the list, because as we go into risk mitigation factors or crisis mitigation, I'm going to be requesting you to draw up that list. So you will come up with a list which you are going to keep it for use later on during the training. So in post-election, you look at review. As you review, are the possible risks that you can come up with. So basically what you're going to do is to list. And you are either going to use the flip charts there, and if you have a laptop, feel free to type those on a laptop. But basically it's to come up with a list of the possible triggers.
We noted that what is very prevalent in that time is petitions, with people challenging, saying courts and the like. When those complainants go to courts to challenge for maybe the outcome of the results, those actors lead us to crisis. And the other one was the audit reports. Because, after an election, you're supposed to conduct an audit. Now, in the course of conducting an audit, you find that you unearth some of the things which were hidden. In the process, people capitalize on those ones, and then those become triggers for crisis. Especially funding that goes to political parties. When you try to find out how they use the money in the campaigns, the audits will reveal that maybe most of the money that was given out never went to the intended purpose. Maybe some people just pocketed the money and so on and so forth. So that creates crisis.
What came out very strongly from this group that was making me very interested in is the audit reports. I thought it was very important that I stress on that.
I'm a serious politician. I'm very energetic. You watch me, you will see miracles. I'm going to develop this area. I'm going to build malls. What is he doing? What's he doing?
Corrompu.
I will not allow this. I'm going to go to the Electoral Commission.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm not fine.
You're not fine?
Yes.
Fine, not fine, not fine?
I'm complaining about the certain lady who disrupted my meeting.
First of all and foremost, I would like to thank you and commend you for your constructive campaigns.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you do understand the good practices of elections and the code of conduct we have deployed before, and of which party signed the ethics of elections. Hand in hand with this, we are going to call her, trying to see if it is true. Good morning, Madam Keta.
Good morning, Chief.
Yes, I know that you're running from Party B, trying to be elected as an MP. But the representative of Party X has registered a complaint that you have interfered in his electoral campaign. I hope you remember that in the Political Parties Committee, together with the Electoral Commission, we sit together and had developed a campaign calendar. And we agreed that each
party should follow the campaigns in the places, the venues which we have allocated. Here we are talking about electoral conduct. You have breached what we have agreed to follow. So kindly follow the electoral campaign calendar and observe the law. Don't repeat this, please. Okay? Do you understand? Thank you so much. So we say that today you are contesting, but tomorrow you will be living in the same community. We want you to shake hands to show that you are going to respect each other, to respect the views of each other, and not to interfere one's campaigns.